Welcome to Papyrus Plans. I'm Tasha. Ready to create something beautiful? Let's dive in.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So let's work on my creative journal for the month of November. So for the month of November, I thought that I would do an autumn theme because I love autumn and my birthday's in November. So why not do something in a season that I love? As you can see, I have to put this, I don't have to, but I'm choosing to put this book clip on my journal again because she is getting a little chunky. So basically, I just want to make sure my elastic doesn't overstretch so that when I am done for the year, I can be able to have the elastic hold. Okay, so I created a cover page for November, and it's a little shop on a corner, and it says, "Life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself." And that's a Bernard Shaw quote. And I created these letters here, and I think I accidentally printed on standard printing instead of the high quality premium setting on my printer. And so I didn't mind this looking a little bit more, having a watercolor effect, but the letters were very washed out. So then what I did is I very carefully took my Pigma Micron and I just used that to outline by hand the letters. And one of the tricks that I like to use when you're doing letters in particular is when I was lettering it, I turned it upside down. That way my brain kind of looks at it as just shapes, and it helps you to stay within the lines a little bit more easily. If you look at it right side up and you're like, oh, I'm trying not to go past this line and I don't want to overdo it, and you're looking at it as a letter. So that's kind of one of the tricks that I do is I turn it upside down and then I look at it as just a line and line, and filling in this long rectangle and looking at it like that. That way your brain kind of doesn't recognize it as a letter, and I think it helps your hand to be a little more steady. At least for me, that's the trick that I use. So I did that. Then I created these really adorable sticker strips that I want to use, and then some stickers, again, with some autumn theme. So I've got these sticker strips, and then some various different elements for autumn. And I added just a little bit of the clear pops of color, and I'll get really close so you can kind of see. And it's very subtle, but it has like this little gloss to it, which I think is kind of cool. And then I also did it for the tea, and you kind of see here. Has a little bit of a sheen, and down here, again, just to kind of make it look like liquid. So I did that for these ones as well. So I've got the sticker strips there. And then I made, again, some stickers, with the autumn theme. So various different elements, a bunch of leaves. And like for the window, I did kind of the same thing. I added some of the clear pops of color to the window panes, again, just so it looks like glass. And then, again, created some various different autumn elements. And for the beverages, I use a combination of the clear and the pearl color for the whipped cream. Again, just to kind of give it that little bit of shimmer. And like here for the tea, again, it's really subtle, but it has a bit of a shimmer, or shine, I should say, just to kind of make it look, again, like glass. So I used the clear for that. And some of the pearlescent for this, like the froth on the coffee. And the whipped cream, I used the pearl of the pops of color. And then one of my favorite ones is I had to have a very steady hand, but I very carefully used, again, I think it's called pearl. Let me make sure. Yeah, pearl satin. So this is the one that I used. The pops of color, I used this one. And I did the icing on the cinnamon rolls. So there you can see how the icing is there. And then I very carefully let the pearlescent color of the pops of color kind of drip down. So I did that, and then I also created the latte art here using that same one. And then same kind of thing here. I used the clear, again, on this window and on this one. And then for this one, I used I think it's gold. Yeah, it's called the gold stickles. So I used that one to bring out the highlights on the scarf and blanket. Again, just kind of add some dimension because it was feeling a little flat to me. So I just used that to kind of, again, bring out some of the dimension because I have a scarf that's like this and it has like gold threads throughout. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to kind of mimic one of my scarves. So same thing with these ones. I use the pearl satin color for the marshmallows and the s'mores, clear for the tea, the glass on the tea, and the little tiny little tea there. I use it inside the cup there. And then for the pancakes, I did the same thing. I used the clear And again, I gotta trying to hold it at the right angle so you can see it, so that it would look like syrup drizzling down. I thought that was kind of cool. So again, just kind of added some extra elements to the various stickers and created lots of different leaves. And then I also decided to create some paper. So I created this botanical paper and did a mirror image of it so I could have either side. And I thought it'd be kind of cool maybe to rip some of this and put some in my journal as like make it more of like a scrapbook effect. I used to be a scrapbooker, so I kind of like that look. So I thought I might be able to do that. So we'll see, but those are all of the various elements that I have. Oh, and then another thing that I have, I forgot to share. My mom gave me some autumn digitals that she had, and she wasn't sure what to do with. And so she kept some of the larger ones, like the envelopes and the folios. And I was like, whoa, I don't really need that. And she said, well, I have these tags. And I said, you know what, maybe I can use some of these tags. So I thought I might try to incorporate some of this. And this is just on copy paper because she wasn't sure what she was going to do with it yet. And so I thought, actually, you know what, that's better because then I can kind of glue it down and it'll be really thin. So she was going to reprint them on cardstock, and I was like, you know what, just leave it thin like this because I actually probably can use this a little bit more easily in my journal. So I might try to incorporate some of this. We'll see. And then she also had an entire sheet of little stamps, and I played around with using some of my shears to cut some of the edges to make it resemble like stamps, but because these are so small, it just didn't look right. So I do actually have like the pinking shears and the different shaped scissors from my old school Fisker set that I bought years ago, and they still work. But again, these were so tiny, it just didn't work. So one of the things that I did is I just got really close to it and I cut a straight line so that it looks like, so you can see the edge of the stamp, but let me see, I know it. This has a shine on it, and I'll explain that in a second. But just so you can see the shape of the edge of the stamp without me cutting into it. So I messed up probably half of them trying to use my scissors and trying different shapes to see what would work until I just realized they were just too big for this small of a stamp. It just wasn't going to work. And then after I did all of that, I ran it through, let me get my little mini Xyron machine. So I used this and I ran it through my Xyron and just, fed it through here to put adhesive in the back. And then when I was done, again, because this was copy paper, it just looked a little flat to me. So to kind of make it mimic the shine of a stamp, like the gloss of a stamp, what I did is I took one of my single-sided adhesive sheets, and the adhesive is underneath and it's like this clear layer on top. And I think I showed this on my channel before when I told you guys I accidentally bought single-sided adhesive sheets instead of double-sided. And I was like, what do you do with this? So what I did is I laid all the stamps down once I had them on the Xyron, and then I put the clear single-sided adhesive sheet on top of it, and then I trimmed it a second time, making a straight line all the way across to give it that individual gloss. So the adhesive is underneath, and the top layer of the single-sided adhesive sheet gives it that shine so that it kind of mimics, like the gloss of a postage stamp. So that's what I did for these. And I just kept them on this, the Xyron backer sheet just so to make it easier for me to use. So I'll probably use some of those throughout, just because I have them. So incorporate some of the stuff that my mom gave me. Okay. Now, originally I was going to do a double-sided cover page for November because I counted everything out, but to make sure I had enough for December. And then for a review section that I want to do at the end of the year, when I was counting all my pages to make sure I was on track, I was like, instead of doing double page, I'm going to do a single page here to get myself back on track. So instead of a double page, again, we're going to do a single page. So that's why I created this sheet and then go into the rest of my pages for my journal. Okay, so for November, I thought I would revisit an idea that I did back in April. This was my solar system spread that I did, this galactic spread that I did. And this was when I first tried using the pops of color on sticker paper and decided to use it in my journal. And it was because when I originally was going to do it for like cards and different things for my planner, and then when I looked at it, I was like, this is fantastic. And then I thought, well, instead of doing single stickers, what if I did an entire sheet? What would that look like? And what if I put it in my journal? And I just absolutely love this. I mean, this is just... it was time consuming, but it was very therapeutic. And again, this is one of my absolute favorite spreads. And I love these stickers that I got from Happy Planner here. But one of the effects that I did is I had never seen anyone else do this. And I kept searching and searching to see if I could find someone else doing this. Because again, this year is my first time doing a creative journal in this style and doing Dutch-doors and things like that. I've always had some sort of other creative outlet. But it's my first time doing it in my journal. I was like, well, instead of doing waterfall tabs, I wonder if anyone's ever rotated the tabs, rotated vertical versus horizontal, and I couldn't find anyone that's done it. So, I mean, maybe someone has, but no one had filmed it at the time. So in April, I decided to try doing that, and it creates this little pocket here, you know, how you have the horizontal, vertical, and then I went back to vertical, because vertical, horizontal, and then the last one, vertical, okay? So it creates this little layered effect, which I thought was kind of cool. After I did it, I will say the only downside to doing this is, obviously this is my first time doing it, so I didn't take into effect, you know, the end result, how it was going to look. So I like how you have things peeking through. But this time around, I thought it would be cool if I did the same thing for November, but made them deeper. So I'm going to try to do that and see what that looks like. And I'm going to call this Tsunami tabs, because waterfall tabs are like really pretty and organized. And this is kind of rotating. So kind of, you know, like when you think of a waterfall, it's like gently and peacefully coming down. Whereas this is kind of, the angles are like this. So the pages look like this as you're doing it. So you have the vertical, vertical, horizontal, in repeating pattern. So I'm going to do that. So I made a little note to myself and I played around with the numbers a little bit. So hopefully this will work a little bit better than the first time around. I mean, the first time around, I think it did work, but I want to try again, like I said, making it a little bit deeper to see how I like that and kind of play around with the numbers here. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and get my cover page down and see how we want to do that. And I think I want this leaf, but I'm gonna trim off some of the bottom. Again, this is half letter sticker paper. And this is a A5 journal, so it's a little bit longer and wider. Let's see, I think the width might work. Let's see, do it this way so I can see it. I mean, just a little bit, trim just a little bit, but I might leave that alone, or trim maybe up to this leaf maybe, so I can get that like right on the edge there, like that, so that, or maybe just lose the leaf and keep that, but then it's right here. So I really want to do it halfway. I wish I made this a ½ inch shorter. Usually I try to remind myself to make it a ½ inch shorter, so when I put it here, the top will fit just right. I forgot to do that. So I think I'd rather keep the bottom than the top, so I might just cut that off. So I think that's what I'll do. So yeah, let's do that, and that way I kind of like the idea of this little leaf right here. I don't know why, I just think it's cute. Or should I not care about that? Let's see, if I ignore the leaf, then it comes, yeah, I still gotta cut it, so I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so get as close to the spine as I can. I'm just gonna peel maybe like the top third back, like I usually do, just to give myself a little bit more control. And let me get my mat, just to make it easier to see this edge. And actually, you know what? I should peel the bottom, because that's the side I want to line it up with, because I'm going to cut this. So let's do this side. Just realize I usually line it up at the top, but this time I'm going to do it the opposite way. Okay, so let's peel the bottom like that and turn it this way. And always just double check, because hey, things happen. Make sure that I have it lined up properly. And I do. Okay. So bring this in. That's too far. Okay. Hold on. Actually, I think I'm gonna take that out. The mat is kind of getting in my way. About right there. Okay. I think that's about right. Now let me get my craft scraper to kind of let me to slowly push this down. I'm trying to balance keeping as much at the top as I can. And let's see how this worked out. Cut off this edge here. Just slide my scissors all the way in. Okay. All right, that's not bad. We were able to keep the bulk of that. Just gonna clean up this edge over here. Get my corner rounder. I think it's a 1/4 inch. Yes, okay. Turn it this way on the 1/4 inch side. And again, I got pretty close, but just to double check. Clean up that edge. Okay, not bad. I was able to keep the leaf, which is what I wanted. So that worked out really well. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I was able to angle that pretty good. That looks good. All right, now we're gonna work on the more complicated part. So I'm gonna put this here just so I have maybe I'll put it here for a reference. Okay, so I have this. So this is the last page. So let me put this here just so I remember to do, because my December cover page is gonna start here. Oh, so actually this is the last page. So let me count it out, make sure. Yeah. Okay, so November 30th ends here. Okay, so again, just putting that there to remind myself, don't cut this. So this is the same sheet, but I'll be using the front and back of this. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages I'm actually cutting. So this one is going to be a horizontal, and I'm going to go 8 down. This one will be vertical. I'm going to go 7 in. The next one will be horizontal, 15 down, and this will be vertical, 14 in. Okay, so those are the new numbers I'm going to try. So again, this one is here. I know not to cut. So this one is 8 down to make a horizontal one. So let's put my mat down. Let me get my clip. I'm actually going to clip this like this just to keep these pages from flopping in my way. And get my metal ruler, my longer metal ruler, and my craft knife. Okay, so 8 down, so I'm going to turn it this way just to make it easier to count. Like this. Okay. All right, so I'm going to count the dots and cut it at the 8th marker. Now with horizontal Dutch doors, I learned very quickly because I think the first time I did one was in February. If you cut too close to this, because the first time around I was like, oh, I want a clean line, and I didn't cut my threads, but I cut so close that my pages started falling out away from the middle. So that's why I always kind of verbally tell you guys, don't forget not to get too close to this. Like you want to get as close as you can, but you are going to have a little bit of like a little raw edge there. And you want that because otherwise your pages will fall out. So don't get super close like you do when you do vertical Dutch doors, okay? Just because the first time around I was like, oh, let me clean up this edge, and I got it super clean and it looked good, but then your pages start coming out. So you have to make sure you leave a little bit there, again, just to make sure your pages won't fall out like mine did. So that's why after that fact, I was like, okay, don't get too close to the edge. So get maybe within a 1/16 inch of it. I mean, that's probably as close as I would dare. Maybe even stay 1/8 of an inch away. Just again, to make sure you have enough so that your pages have something to grab onto so they won't pop apart, okay? All right, so let's go 8 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's here. And it's kind of hard to, because this is so thick, it's a little hard to get all the way in there. So I might have to cut it like this and then go back over that other edge. I think that's what I'll do. To get as close to this as I can. Or actually, let me use this end, because this one is straight. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that lets me get closer. Okay, now I'm just going to pull my ruler directly underneath the dot again so I can get as close to this as I can. as close to that inside edge as I can without going too crazy. Okay, you see how the vertical line here is good, but then when you turn it this way, this is where you really have to be careful. So I'm going to cut it just past the dot. And there's going to be a little nub there. And I'm being careful because, again, I don't want to go too crazy. Okay. So you see how it leaves a little bit there? Now, like I said, you can clean the edge up slightly, but not too much, because if you clean it up too much, the pages are gonna come out. So I go back in just a little bit to clean it up as much as I can. But again, you do need to have a little bit of something there. Okay, so that's the first one. All right, so now we're gonna do a vertical one, and I'm gonna go 7 in. Again, I'm trying to create a deeper, more pronounced crisscross effect. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's here. And again, once I know where the mark is, I'm just lining my ruler up on either side and pressing down hard. Okay. So you see how now I have this space here. So now I have a longer space, whereas before it was kind of up here. So I just wanted a larger opening where things could kind of peek through it. Okay. So now we're going to do 15 horizontal. So 15 down. So put my mat underneath, just making sure it's in the right space. Turn it this way and cutting down this way. Okay. But I'm going to put my ruler this way. So now we're doing 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And just adjusting my ruler to make sure it's as even as possible. I'm going to slide my mat in as far as it'll go so I can get this edge as close as I can. And I'm going to cut right on the dot if I can. Again, I know I can't get too close to the spine, but then I'll go back in and clean it up slightly because I've got about 1/4 of an inch. I want to try to get it down to about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to use my ruler here. I'm going to try to remove half of this if I can. My ruler's pretty thin, so I'm going to use that to prevent myself from cutting the page underneath. And again, you can't take all of this away. So you got to get comfortable with the fact that there is going to be a little bit of something there, okay? Because, like I said, I tried to remove all of this, and I did it successfully, and it looked nice, but then the pages start falling off. So you do want to leave a little bit of something, okay, when you do a horizontal Dutch door. Okay, so now we have that, okay? So now the next vertical one will be 14 in. And I'm just trying to make it a little bit more pronounced to see which one I like better. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, just line up my ruler from top to bottom. Once I'm comfortable with where it is, holding it down taut and cutting. Okay, so now we have this. So you see how pronounced that is? So that's what I wanted. I wanted to make it a little bit more pronounced than before. And so now the last page pokes through, and it's the same width as this, even though I didn't cut anything. So that's what I was going for, to kind of create, again, this kind of crisscross effect. So I think that looks good. That came out just the way that I wanted it to. So let's put this back over here. Again, just kind of hold it in place. All right, so now we can start working on this. And okay, I know that this is the start of the December, the cover page. I think I'll leave that there until I have my sticker strips on, just to kind of remind myself of where I want to go. And I do usually keep these just in case I need it for something else. You never know. So I'll put that in the back pocket, actually. I'm just going to tuck it in the back pocket, because if I need other small little pieces of paper to fix a mistake or something like that, then I already have it in here. Okay, it says get this mat out of the way. Now let's work on adding our Tsunami tabs. Okay, so I think I want to use, let's see. This set on the front and this one on the back, okay. Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's do, I think, yeah, the leaf one, because that way it coordinates with this one. So I'll do this one. Usually I work from the back to front. I think I'm gonna work from the front to the back. So let's put this down. Just lining it up with this edge as the best I can. And just cut off this tiny little bit that goes over. Okay, now let's do, this one will be, the next one will be a horizontal. So do it this way. Again, bring it just to the edge. Like that. And then trim off the part past the edge of the journal page. There we go. And I'm saving these pieces because you never know if you can use them and layer them. Because sometimes I will. Okay, now we go back to vertical, which works out perfectly because this is the one with the T. So bring this up to the top, and I like to pull it back so I can see the edge, so I know how to bring it up to the edge. And the green mat underneath also helps me do that. And just cut off a little bit of lavender that goes over. And this part is over just slightly, so I'm gonna bring it down so it's not going over the edge. There we go. That way I don't have to cut and lose any of that. Okay, next one is horizontal. And again, just trimming off the part that goes past the edge. Okay, the last one is going to be traditional vertical one. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. So you see how it has the dimension, which is really cool. And then I'll put an element here to kind of cover up that empty space. I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I like to do. Okay, turn it this way. Oh, I just ripped it. Okay, well, we're gonna piece that back together. And actually, I think I'll do it. well, if I put it here, it's going to cut part of the orange, and I don't want to do that, so I think I'm going to put it this way. So it just cuts part of the greenery instead. If I have to lose something, I'd rather it be the greenery. Okay, and then let's join this back up. So I'm gonna lift this one and see if I can tuck it underneath to cover up that torn edge. And let me get my bone folder, just kind of smooth it down. And actually, you can't even tell it tore, so that worked out. And I'm definitely saving this because, again, it has that orange on it. And put this here so I don't lose it. And I'm trim off some of the clear glaze went past it a little bit. I'm just cleaning up that line where the orange is. There we go. Okay, so that's what the front tabs are looking like. So again, you have vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Okay, so now let's flip and do the opposite side. So I think I'll do it like this and leave that one free. Okay, so now let's get these. So this is front to back, so now I'm gonna start from the back over here. Okay, so now this is what the front looks like. And this is what it looks like in reverse. So the mirrored image of that, but horizontal. Same thing here, but this time vertical. Horizontal. And vertical. So that way, when you open it, these two sides coordinate with each other. They're not identical, but they're very similar. So it has similar color palette, similar theme, okay? All right, so now we have the tabs done, and have an extra one just in case I messed one up. I've learned the hard way, create an extra one just in case, you know, that way in case I tore one of these, I could have something to put on the back of it, because that has happened to me before. Okay, so I have these acorns, which I think I mirrored some of these, so I can use some of those on the Dutch doors. And we have the little stamps that my mom gave me. And I potentially want to tear some of this paper and maybe layer it with some stuff. So I'll put that there just so I can see it. Okay, and again, I'm not sure if I'll use any of these tags, but I mean, I could. Let's see, do I want to put any here? Yeah, actually, I could create like little scenes here. Actually, I might use this to create some scenes. I don't know if I want to do that. Well, you won't really be able to see it, can you? Until you open it. I mean, I could do something like this. Okay, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these. I might save these for cards. Just not sure about them. Okay, before I go crazy and start decorating, I think I'm going to go ahead and do what I usually do and date first. I like to do that just so I can see what space I'm working with, so I make sure that I don't cover that up. Okay, so I have the dates, numbers and days stickers by Agenda 52, and then I also have this new book that I got from Happy Planner. This is called Essential Dates and Numbers, and I've been really loving this one. So I might look and see if there's something in here that I might prefer. See if there's anything seasonal or just something that I like better. Ooh, those are pretty. Ooh, like those are nice. Oh, that matches it perfectly, actually. Look, that goes, I mean, that's like the perfect color. This right here is like literally the same thing. Yeah, those are beautiful. Okay, let's see. Trying to decide which one do I want to use. I think I'll use this one that starts with the orange first because the orange will be here first, and then as I turn it, it'll go into the other colors. Ooh, okay. So we'll use this for the numbers. Let me put a little sticky note there just so I can remember to come back to that. Okay, so that's the numbers. Now we need days of the week. Oh, and it has these too, like these watercolor ones. but I think the other ones match better. Okay, so we have hearts, we have little suns. Those are cute. Oh, these are nice too. Or I might just do like the orange or this like goldenrod color. That's pretty. And I think that'll match every single page. Yeah, I think either one of these will match. Okay, so I'm thinking about using either this kind of goldenrod mustard yellow color or this orangey color. That's really pretty. I think either one of those will go really well. I think I'm leaning toward the goldenrod color because that will match all of the washi strips. Oh wait, I decided I was going to use these. Wait, never mind. Okay, I'm getting carried away. Okay, I already decided I was going to use these, but these other colors are kind of cool too. Okay, I'm looking for days of the week. Okay, sorry, I got a little sidetracked. I mean, those could work. Those are nice. I don't know, these are nice too. Ooh, I like how these actually change colors, like the leaves. Let me get closer so you can see these. These are really pretty. It goes from green to yellow, green, darker green, goldenrod, orange, 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 darker orange, then gets into like a little light red, darker red, all the way till you get here. I might use these because it looks like the changing of the leaves. That's kind of cool. Okay, now I'm torn. Should I use these ones or these ones? Okay, let's put a little marker there too. Okay, between those two numbers. And then, I don't know if this has days of the week. Okay, it has months. Okay, maybe this is just months and numbers. Yeah, I think this is just months and numbers. Okay. I thought this had days of the week, but it doesn't. So I can just do the number from here. Now let's see what kind of days of the week in here. I know this does have days of the week. I really love the gold, but I haven't found a reason to use them yet. Maybe because I don't usually use gold stickers in my journal. I guess I need to come up with a reason to have something gold in here. Okay. I've got these, but I only have 2 of them. Oh, I have these. 3, 4. I think that might be enough. I wish it was orange. I wish it was all this color, but I used all that up. Okay, potentially maybe just use the red. And I don't know if I have... This is my favorite one. I think I've used up all but this sheet. Let's see, do I have 4 weeks worth? Sunday... Wait. 1, 2, 3... I've got 3 weeks worth. Okay, that's not going to cut it. I've got these gold ones, but I don't feel like that goes. I've used up most of those. Those are too colorful. Okay, let's check the back. Now, I like these ones in the back, but they literally give you just 1 week. Like, you got this one, and I think you get another week on the second one, so 2 weeks worth. So what if I rotated this goldenrod color and this color? It has gold in it, but I think it goes with the theme. And it doesn't bother me as much as the gold for this one on the front. So I might do that and just rotate. Yeah, okay. I think I'll use these 2 because I have 4 weeks worth of them. Wait, what am I going to do for 28 days? 29 and 30. This is always the problem. Maybe I'll use pink for 29 and 30. Will that look weird? Or maybe use pink on this page because it has the pink there. And then go back to the orange. Okay, I might do that. As long as I can use at least 2 days from here. And I can. So, all right. I think I'll use a combination of these 3. So I'll get closer so you can see it. Combination of this coral color, this beautiful goldenrod color, and this pink with the gold lettering. Now I just need to decide whether I want to use these large numbers or go back to these. I think I might use these because I think it kind of matches the scale and the effect a little bit more. All right, so these are the days a week I'm going to use, and these are the numbers that I'm going to use. So I'll start numbering everything, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, see you soon. All right, you guys. So I just finished dating everything, and I just realized as I was dating that because I had to add in, use the back of the page instead of, I took away the second cover page so I could have an extra page to date. I forgot I had this extra page, so that's what I used. What I thought was an extra sticker strip for the back of that. So that ended up being perfect because I had actually forgotten about that. So I'm glad that worked out. Okay, so this is what everything's looking like from the front. So we got the cover page announcing in November. And then I started out with the goldenrod color and then switched over to the pink and then the coral and then back to the goldenrod. And then for this one, I actually switched over to the green, but after I put it down, I realized it was in script. And since none of the other text was in script, like this is kind of like an italicized font and then like a print, and then italicized. So I decided just to use the white. And it's gold, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's white with print instead of the green that was cursive. Even though the green matched this perfectly, it looked a little odd to me. That was the only text that I had that was cursive, so I decided to go ahead and pull that up. And then I went back to the coral. So it goes between the different colors and switches between print versus italicized. So I think the italicized is close enough, especially since I used the goldenrod twice, sandwiched in between the printed fonts. And that's how that looks. And then it goes into the start of my December cover page here. Okay, so that worked out beautifully. Thankfully, I wish I could have used the green here because it did look really nice. But then when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know. The script was just kind of throwing me. So I decided not to use it, especially since I didn't have anything else that was in script. So I decided just to pull it up and use another version of the coral here and then add in the white here. Okay. So that all matches, and that's what it's looking like from the front. So again, you can see this really pronounced crisscross effect of the Tsunami tabs that I created. So now we can start decorating and having some fun. All right, so let's look through what we have to see what we want to add. I've got tons of stuff here. So I think I'll start out with the ones that I know are mirrored. It'd be cute to put the squirrel somewhere. Let's see. I'm going to gently try to lift him up. All right. And I tore part of his whiskers, but I think I can piece it back together. Let's see, do I want him here? I think I might want him here. That way or maybe down here. That way he's not covering up that really cool leaf. And I can still see that. And he's not going into the writing that much. And it's on Sunday. And I don't usually write as much on Sunday. So put him right there. He's really cute. Then add the mirrored version of him to the other side. And do my best to line it up. I'm just gonna, let's see, get my smaller scissors just to trim off this one little edge. On the tail, I'm just going to make it a curve just so it makes it easier. There we go. So we have him there kind of peeking out. So maybe put some of the acorns over here. That might be kind of cute. Let's see. I think those are on the bottom. Got these ones and these ones. And a couple over here. Okay. So this one I know is mirrored. So I might add, let's see, an acorn here. And then put the other side of it like this. And that way it doesn't go into Tuesday. And then maybe put another one down here. I made different versions. See if I can get this just the sticker. And then this one down here. So let's have this one going this direction. See, maybe like this. And then put the other mirrored image on the back. that's cute. Oh, I love that. Okay, so we got the cute little squirrel with some acorns cascading down. I really like that. Let's see. For this one, maybe I've got the tea there. Let's see. Maybe I want to do some food there. Maybe that cinnamon roll. Or maybe I'll save that for over here. Let's see. So I definitely want to use that because I love this. This is one of my favorite stickers that I created. It's so pretty, and I love the way that the pops of color turned out on this one. So maybe have this peeking through. Maybe do this side so I can see the cinnamon stick. Like that. Or maybe I'll angle it like this. Just gonna lightly tap it down just so I can see it. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, that fits perfectly right there. So let's do the other side. And I may have to move Thursday. Yes, I have to move Thursday over. Okay, I'm just gonna line this up at the top. Make sure I get this top edge. And then I'm getting my tweezers and just put Thursday back down. So I think I'll just put it in between the cinnamon stick and the little drizzle. I'm just basically just sliding it over. There we go. All right, so we put Thursday back. Ooh, I love that. And that's next to the tea. That looks really good. Let's see. Since we have the tea there, I don't think I might use some of these other food items on as stickers on the other page, but I kind of don't want to cover that up. So maybe just something peeking over here. Let's see, what about the lantern? That's kind of cool. Ooh, that looks kind of neat. Okay, I just put it down lightly just so I could see if I liked it. So I think I'll bring it down so that the white edge is right here. Go ahead and move it over slightly so I can see more of it. I don't want to cover up the teacup, but I need to move it over so that it's visible. So maybe, and again, I'm just lightly tapping it. Yeah, right there. That way I can see it. Okay, now let's get the other side of this one. And I'm gonna have to move the 9. And I might as well move Sunday. Let's see. Let me get my mat. This one's gonna be a little bit trickier to put down because of the height of it. Just wanna make sure I can line it up. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough so that it covers up the edges. Like that. Okay. That's not bad. All right. Now let's put Sunday back. And let's put the 9th back. I might put it on top since it's only covering up a small part of the lantern, so I don't have to break up the number. And I'm just gonna take my adhesive remover and just remove some of the adhesive from the front sticker. It goes over slightly. And I might trim that since it's the offset. But the adhesive remover took that off, so actually I'll leave that alone. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. So that looks really good. I like that. Now let's figure out what we want over here, in this corner over here. Let's see. Kind of want to add some leaves, so I might add some leaves over here and then maybe a leaf over there. I have these. Let me get the ones that I know are mirrored. These are mirrored. Okay. And these two are. So I have these, or these. And these ones. Okay. So So since this is red, maybe I'll use something that's not red since that's right there. So maybe this green and yellow one. And I don't want it to go into the cinnamon roll too much, so actually it might only be just a tiny little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna have to move, okay, I think I'll have to move Sunday all the way over here since that's the back of it. It's really just the stem that's peeking out. Okay. And let's see. Or actually, you know what? I might put Sunday on top of the leaf. Let's see, what would that look like? That way I don't have to move it over. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And that way I can keep it where it is. That way I'm not moving it all the way over there. And that way it's lined up with that. Okay, I think that works. Again, maybe add another leaf maybe over here. So let's see, maybe this red one, or maybe this maple leaf. Or just put it here and cut it. Could do that. Do it like this. So it covers up that section, that white space there. I'm just going to trim off the part that goes over. And I actually don't need to use the mirrored one of that one since I just used it on the back end. So that way when it's flat, I have that leaf there. So that's kind of cool. So maybe I'll add some other leaves over here too. Like use the other mirrored version of this since I used it. And maybe one other leaf that doesn't have that. So maybe add this one going this way. Get my smaller scissors. Ooh, that looks good. I like that. And it adds a little bit more color over there. Okay. Now, maybe something underneath this. I mean, it's small. I'm not sure what it could be. Or what I might do is, let's see if I can lift up underneath this cinnamon stick and add some of the scrapbook paper. So I'm just taking my tweezers and kind of wiggling them underneath to lift it up. So that hopefully I don't tear it. Just so I can lift it. There we go. Do that. And then tear some of this, especially since it goes with this. So maybe, let's see. Don't like the way that tore. See if I can kind of clean up that edge a little bit. And just kind of layer this underneath it. And then put this on top. Okay, like that. I mean, it goes into Tuesday a little bit, so let me see if I can rip just a little bit of that, more of that, so it's not so long. And even layer some of this on top. Okay, and it kind of fills in that gap there. So maybe put some over there, kind of fill in that area over there. Just kind of trying to make some organic tears to kind of fill in this area. And that just ripped, but again, I can kind of piece it back together. I'm just kind of lightly putting it down just so I see where it is. Okay, that works. Just gonna, again, tear some of this. So it's not going over the washi. Maybe layer some of this on top. I'm gonna try to layer some of this text on top. You can just kind of fill in some of these gaps. And part of the sticker paper tore there, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, just a small dab, and then take my bone folder and kind of smooth it down so it stays. And then trim off the little piece that goes over here. Okay, so again, it kind of just fills in that area. So when I'm looking at it flat, you know, from the front, it fills that in. And again, I still have space to write, which is nice. So I might even add this little skinny piece. Again, just to fill in those small little gaps there when it's flush. And I'm taking my tweezers and just tear the part close to the T, because again, I don't want it to go over the T. And put that down there. There we go. Okay, so that looks good. Let's see. I'm seeing what it looks like as I open each page. Okay, so I think the tabs look good there. I like how that's all full. So now let's go in and decorate each individual one. So maybe add something small here, like maybe some leaves. Let's see if I have some smaller leaves. I have this one, this little skinny one. I made lots of leaves in different colors. Kind of lightly tapping them down until I know where I want them. Okay, I do that. Let me get my craft scraper so I can push it in a little bit more easily. And just trim this piece. And move my ribbon so I don't accidentally cut it. Okay, so I like that. I like how the leaves cascading there. I think the cover page and I think the first page is done because I only have small spaces, right? So I don't want to take up any more space there. So I like that. I mean, I might add maybe one leaf over here if I can find another small one. Let's see, maybe green. Just kind of break some of that up a little bit and have a few more larger leaves falling. I like that. Okay, that looks good. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, left side's done. Maybe add something in the corner over here. I'm thinking I'll tear a little bit of paper. Let's see. Let's do this side because I want this in the corner. Like that. Let's see, let me get my mat just so I can see this a little bit better. Bring it all the way down and to the edge. So hopefully I don't have to cut anything over here. Like that. And it just gives it some interest without adding too much there. I think that looks really good. And I might add maybe, see, maybe an acorn over there. Like that. That way it doesn't take up too much room and it fills in that gap there. I think that looks good and it kind of coordinates with that side. So I love that. Okay, that looks great. Let's see. Let's do this side. Okay, definitely want something here. So maybe some paper on this side. Again, just kind of give it some interest. Okay. And bring it down to the edge. Just a tiny little sliver that went over. And around this corner again. So we have that on Monday. That looks good. Maybe something in the middle here or here. Okay, we've got the lantern. Maybe the books and the cups of tea. See, put that right here. Let's get my craft scraper and I'm going to use the edge to kind of bend it around the page and push it in and then smooth it down just to make it easier to turn the page and so that it won't pop up. Ooh, that looks good. Love that. Okay. And what if we did maybe a stack of sweaters on Thursday? Or maybe even Wednesday. That way I kind of see that poking up a little bit. Trim off some of this offset. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. And maybe seem like maybe like a candle or something next to it, but I don't know if I have one that's small. Ooh, I made these mirrored images of these candles. Those are cool. Ooh, I could put something down here in between the tea. I might do that. So I definitely use the pancakes because I love these and I love pancakes. So maybe put that on this one. Let's see, let's do Sunday. Because Sunday brunch. So want to use that one for sure. Let's see. Maybe a tray with the T. Let's see, how do I want to do it? The handle this way or this way? Let me see. I won't see it until I open it. So I do it like this. Kind of like the angle of that. Let me get the other one and see if I like that better. And this, okay, this one cut weird, but I think I can deal with the shape. I can fix it. So maybe I'll use this one and then I can figure out the shape of the other one. So do it at an angle. Maybe like this. So it's not taking up too much of Wednesday and Thursday. And then I have to move Sunday over. And I am going to have to do some guesswork since the second one cut a little weird. This doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So I'm going to use the shadow of the front of the sticker to line it up to see where it should be. About right here. When that buckled slightly, let me get my, let's see, my tweezers. See if I can fix this bubble underneath here. Oh boy, if I can. I don't know if I can. Sticker paper is strong. I may not be able to fix it. Maybe if I take my bone folder. Ooh, that's working. Okay, that was easier. Just use my bone folder. That was nice. Okay, now I'm just gonna go over here. What did I do at Sunday? There it is. You can say I lost Sunday. Let's maybe do bring it down a little bit since I cut into part of Saturday. Again, I don't write a huge amount on the weekend, so this should be plenty of space. I do it like that. And then put 16 back, so I don't forget. And then use my bone folder and smooth it down. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take my small scissors and just clean up the edge around these two stickers that don't perfectly align. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but it can happen. Because I think I had one upside down, and usually if they're not oriented the same way, it will do that. So I'm just going to curve around the handle. Do my best not to get too close, because again, I don't want to cut anything off on the front. Oh, that did well. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to look through to line this up. I'm going to line up the front part. Ooh, that worked. Let's clean up this one little edge. And do my best to kind of curve inside. There we go. And I want to curve this side too. Just ever so slightly. Just so it doesn't have any sharp corners poking out. Okay. Smooth that down. Okay, that looks good. And it gives it a little bit more interest, which I like. I like that. So yeah, I think this one is done. Okay, we got the pancakes. We got the tea with the cookies. Cinnamon roll. I might add, see, I had one of those beverages mirrored. I might add one of those, one of the coffee cups. Let's see. Okay, I already got tea over there, so yeah, I think I'll add coffee. I think this is the other one left. Right here. And trying to get it away from the date on either side, so it needs to be, let's see. I'll cut off the offset on this one. And maybe right about here. Again, I'm kind of guessing. Ooh, I think that might work. Yeah, that's as far as I can bring it. And since I cut the offset off on the other one, I'm going to do it on this one. Again, just to make it easier to line up on the bottom. Okay, so let me move 20. And then if necessary, I think I'll put it on top. About right there. Yeah, I think I'll put it on top because it's only going to go over ever so slightly. Ooh, okay, yeah, I like that. And it allows me to use some more of those stickers that I made that I love. So from the front, you can see part of the cinnamon roll peeking through, and then when you turn the page, the teapot with the tea and the cookies, and then coffee with the cinnamon roll. And I like that I have the pancakes at the bottom. So I think maybe something over here. Maybe we just make this the coffee spread and have this kind of cascading down. Like that. And maybe something down here. Maybe some tea. I think I'm gonna save this one for this one because this has the orange slices on it. This is like the spice cider. So I kind of want to use this one here. So maybe this one right here in between. Again, because of those oranges. Just going to lift it up and smooth it and then curve it inside. Ooh, that looks good. Love that. So I think on this one, I just need some leaves maybe over here to kind of balance those ones out. Some different colors. Let's see, maybe this one. I'm doing my best not to break any of the stems. And again, this is Saturday, so I can get away with a little bit more. I think I might cover some of this up. Get the right angle without covering up the orange. And maybe a leaf down here. And maybe one up here. Let's see, maybe this brown and green one. That is kind of close to that color though, so maybe I should do maybe red. Like that. Again, doing my best not to rip anything. Ooh, that looked good. Yeah, I think that's done. I think that one's done. And maybe I'll put this leaf back. Maybe some tea or something over here. Or maybe one of these chairs. I think that might be kind of cute. Having a chair over here. And I might move Sunday. So I can put it at the bottom over here. I think I will. And let's see. I'm gonna trim this flush so I can put it right up against the sticker strip. And bring it all the way close to the bottom. And then put Sunday back. So I think I'll put Sunday right here. Ooh, I like that. That looks good. And maybe just a leaf or something over there. I wanted to use this guy, but I don't think I have room. I may not be able to. Maybe one of the sweaters. Let's see. I might add one of the sweaters here, and then when you turn it, you see the other sweaters underneath. I might do that, because I kind of want to use this one. Oh no, this cut weird. Oh no, this cut weird. I might be able to piece it back together. Oh no, okay, it's in like pieces. I think I was trying to cut the individual parts of this scarf. Man, I really want to use this, though. See if the rest of this is whole. Ah, okay, it's like that. Well, I mean, I might can do it. I don't know. Trim off some of this offset. If I do it like the other one and kind of use the shadow of the front of the sticker to kind of see where it is, that might work. I do it like that. Let's see. Can I get this bottom piece back on? Cut off some of the offset. Make it easier to layer. Ooh, I can. And I have to move Friday down. We'll put Friday on top. Okay, and then put the rest of the bottom of the scarf. Ooh, actually that worked pretty well. I wasn't sure if I could do it, but that worked really well. Okay, so I only have one little tiny piece of the scarf I didn't put back. And if I put this on top, I tore part of this. Put it on top, or I might move it over. I might leave it there. And get one of my outliners, see if I can gently get rid of this tear. Or at least blend it out a little. Makes it a little bit less noticeable. Okay, I think that's okay. Now, what about this little piece of the scarf? Let's see, where does this go? Oh, this goes here. Goes like that. Okay. I gotta gently lift this up since it's in pieces and see if I can put the other part back. Let's see, this side. See that, and it looks like this one cut fine, except for the bottom part of the fringe, but I wonder why that one cut. Maybe because of the gold. Just cut off the offset on the bottom and the side. Again, so when it comes down here, it'll be easier to layer. And let's see. Gotta figure out how this goes. This goes like this. Trying to get the angle right. I might have to get my head in the shot a little bit just so I can see this. It's like that. And Clean my scissors off. Do my best to... I might have to lose the top of this because I don't know if it's going to hold because the other side doesn't have as much of an offset. So I cut around that and that. Yeah, this little piece, I don't know if it's going to stay on. It may not. Trying to push it down as far in as it'll go. And trim off the offset on the back sticker. Okay, so I just have this tiny little piece, so I think I'm gonna have to lose that part on the side because it tore and I don't have the offset on the front of this one, or in the back, I should say, just to kind of make it more even. Oh, that's not bad, actually. Okay, so I had to lose some of that other part since this side didn't have the same amount of offset. Oh, that worked out. Oh, that's cool. I kind of want to change this sticker now. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can pull this. Get my tweezers. Try to get some leverage. If I pull slowly, sometimes it'll work. Ooh, that worked. Okay. Yes. Okay. Just put that back. I can use that somewhere else. Again, I just like the look of that one a little bit better. I just think it looks nicer. Okay, so that's done. That's done. I just felt like it was missing something there. I mean, I might add a smaller acorn here. Let's see. Or maybe a leaf. Maybe I should add a leaf. Trying to cover it with this weird little... I might just rip it. It's like part of a leaf is there, but you can't really see it, so it looks a little weird. So I think I'm gonna rip it so you can't tell. There we go. And then I can put this where I want. We need something bigger. Or a different shape. Let's try this one. Okay, that, and maybe... maybe the acorn over here. Just kind of pushing it in the middle so that it'll turn easily. Yeah, okay, I think that works. Okay, I think this one is done fully. Okay. This side looks good. I might add, let's see, I'm thinking about maybe an acorn over here. Or, I kind of want to use this bundle of cinnamon sticks. If I can get it without tearing it. I don't want to tear the nice ribbon. Let's see. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And this is Sunday, so I can kind of get away with it. So, or what if I did? Make it look like the ribbon is dangling over Monday. I mean, it's not much of an offset on this, but I'm taking away the one where the ribbon is, just to make it easier to layer. So maybe do it like, trying to make sure I don't cover up Monday, like that. And then, see if I can trim off part of the cinnamon stick that goes over. Ooh, that works. Ooh, I love it. I love how it's draped over Monday. That looks really cool. Okay, that came out. Okay, so I think that area is done. Maybe something small in this corner over here. Not sure what. Let's see. Kind of want to add these socks in. They're so cute. I mirrored them, but I could just do like this. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Here. Maybe, do I want to add another cup of tea somewhere? Let me gather all of my stickers so I can see what I have. Okay. I'm going to have all these too. Like I said, these won't go to waste because I love autumn, and I can always use these in my planner or to make cards. Okay, this typewriter is cool. I might put that where my birthday is. I think that's on the last day. Let's see, will this fit? My birthday's on Saturday. So if I move Saturday down, I can fit it underneath Friday. Oh, boy. Just rip that. But I think I can piece it back together, as we often do around here. Okay. So if I do, maybe I'll bring it all the way up underneath Friday. That's what I'll do. And then put Saturday directly underneath. And put this piece back on top. A bone folder to kind of smooth it out once I straighten it out properly. There we go. It's not bad for tearing it. And then put the 29th back. Okay, that fits underneath that. And I think I'll lower Sunday just one row just to give myself a little bit more space to write on my birthday. Again, I'm not writing a novel here, but just enough to kind of write about my day or what I did. There we go. Okay. And definitely want something else here, but I'm not sure what. Maybe some pillows or something. I have some items like from home scene, some items from the house, like are lounging around. Maybe this pillow. It says autumn. Again, do my best not to rip this, because it is, the little tassels are a little delicate. Let's see. Trying to angle it so it doesn't go into December. And keeps the tassels as best as I can. I'll probably cover that up with whatever I do on my December cover page. Maybe I should just cut it so I don't have to worry about it. There we go. Or I could try to change the angle of it. Maybe I'll do that. So small. Maybe it'll look like it's folded over. Okay, it's so little. I think I'm gonna add some glue to it, because it keeps popping up. That way I still have the tassel, because it's so cute. And it just looks like it's sitting on top of the pillow. All right, so I think the last page may be done, except for maybe something small over here. These rain boots are so cute, but I think they're too big in comparison to the chair. So I might leave that page alone. Okay. Well, this cat is kind of cute. I might add him somewhere. Ooh, I kind of want him in the corner. Or I could do him in the corner over here. Let's see. I think he works best here. Or do I want to add more food? Ooh, he works there too. Okay, I might put him there and then maybe add a food item down here. Let's see. Maybe do an iced coffee. Cut off some of the bottom offset. Cut it flush so I can bring it all the way down if I want to. Like that. Okay, that works. Now let's trim off the bottom offset on the sleeping cat and have the cat sitting on top of Saturday. Oh. And then the lantern isn't straight. Okay, so I think I need to do it like this. And then I think I'll put Saturday on top. Yeah, looks better. Okay, and that accidentally picked up number 9. So I think I'll put a little glue there. This is the one I picked up, so I think it just needs a little help to stay down. There we go. So that should definitely stay now. Okay, so let's double check where we are. Okay, like that. It's looking good. That looks great. Again, maybe something small here. Maybe since this is the tea spread, a cup of tea. Sitting on top of this box. Cut off some of the offset. Let's see, maybe a bit like this. And I think I'll do what I did on the other page and cut the part that goes over the coral box. Okay, I like that, and that kind of draws your eye down. I still kind of wish I had something small here, and I'm not sure what. I mean, maybe a leaf. I don't know. Let's see, leaves, acorns. I didn't use any of my cool windows, but I could save those for something else. Well, this pie. Kind of want to cover this up, and I might. Yeah, I might do that so I save as much room on Thursday as possible and just trim around it. Okay, yeah, that just kind of gives it some interest down here. That looks good. I like that. Okay, this one I think is done. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else there. Okay, this side looks good. Maybe something down here or on top of Wednesday. Let's see. Maybe this little basket with the pumpkins. I might put that over here. Sweater, socks. Oh, I like that better. I think it pulls in some of that gray. So I think I'll do that. And maybe put the basket over here. Or up here. I'm gonna do Wednesday because then it won't go into Tuesday. And I can kind of angle it a little bit. Like this. And I think I might put a little bit more scrapbook paper here. I think maybe that's what's bothering me. I see script here, a little bit right here, and maybe some right here and here. Just a small amount. Let's see, get my mat so I can see this edge a little bit more easily. Okay, there, and then maybe just a little bit down here. Trying to tear where the script is so I can capture some of that. In this little corner. Like that. And then just cut off the part that goes over the edge. Oh, gosh, I accidentally used a 1/2 inch side. Well, that's going to have a larger round of a corner. Gosh, I didn't even look. Okay, thankfully it's not hugely noticeable, but yikes. Can't believe I did that. Maybe just a little bit right here. And I'm keeping my finger down so I can tear against it. And just layer on top. Again, I'm just kind of adding little layers of the paper so it just looks more organic. Just adds a little touch of interest and whimsy. Just a little bit down there. Just add a little bit more on the side over here. Again, just kind of fill in that gap. Add those little tiny scraps there. I think I'll just keep that there. Okay, so that looks good. Just smooth that down. Okay, that looks good there. Yeah, I like the text there. That looks good. Maybe I'll add a little bit in this corner here. Again, not a huge amount, but just enough to kind of give it some interest. Tiny little sliver that goes over. Okay. All right, so I think that one's done. Now this one feels like it needs just a little bit of something. Maybe some more leaves. I mean, I have plenty of those. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of fills in that gap a little bit more. Okay. Maybe this one right here. Oops. And I just ripped the stem, but we can put it back. Let's see. Trying to find the angle so it doesn't go into Thursday. Let's see if that's right. So that worked out. Okay. Let's trim this little side. And smooth this down. Yeah, I like that. That's more full now. Looks more complete. Maybe one little something there, maybe an acorn. Trying to find all my leaves. Just add one small one right there. Okay, I think that is fully done. I'm trying to decide if I want a leaf there. I think I might. Do it like this, maybe on top of Monday, going toward Sunday. Okay. All right, that looks good. All right, this one is done. Now the back. Something here, and maybe in this corner over here. Let's get this one. And put it up here. Maybe I'll bring it all the way over. Trying to get the angle right so it's, yeah, like that. Okay. And trim off this tiny little bit. freehand this. There we go. Just kind of clean up that edge a little bit so it's not quite as noticeable. So that looks good. Okay, I like that. Okay, so maybe again something small here, and then I think we might be done. Or maybe even something to sit on top of Sunday, but I don't think I have anything small enough for that. Because of this chair, I think anything, even though this is out of scale because it's higher up, it doesn't bother me quite as much. Let's see. What about this sweater pile? Ooh, that might work. I mean, it's going into my birthday though, so maybe I shouldn't do that. I want to save room to write for my birthday. Okay, what if I put it down here though? Not loving it. Okay, see if we can find something else. Maybe these pillows. Especially since I have that one up there. So let me trim off the offset on the bottom. I mean, it's taking up quite a bit of Sunday, but I mean, I have enough to write like 2 short sentences. I don't know. Should I do that? Probably shouldn't. Yeah, I bet not. Okay. I may not have anything to go there. Let's see. Trying to think of what else I have small. I mean, I have this hat and these socks. That might work. Let's see. Do it like this so I have more space to write. And then maybe do the hat like this. Ooh, I think that works. Okay. And it just kind of fills in that area a little bit more. All right, let's clean up and then we'll take a look and see if we're missing anything. All right, you guys, so let's take a look at my November creative journal. This is what the front cover looks like. And I love the cascading leaves and the cute little squirrel and acorns. And then you turn the page and then you go into the horizontal Dutch door. And then you turn that one and you have the cinnamon sticks and the blanket and the lantern and the book and tea. The cat getting snuggled next to the lantern. And the delicious looking cinnamon roll and coffee. And then some of the scattered leaves going everywhere with some coffee and tea. And then the last page is pillows with candles, typewriter, a cozy chair with some socks and a hat. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is that I added in some of these little stamps, the ones that I showed you guys at the beginning. I realized I hadn't used any of them, so I just kind of scattered a few throughout each of the pages. I tried to put at least one on each page. So this one has one there, and one here, and one here in the middle. And then I decided not to put one on the cover page, just because I love the way that this looks. But again, that's what it's looking like. And the full effect of the Tsunami tabs that you can see at the top here. And it's less noticeable because I filled in the white space, which I like. But as you turn it, you get to really get the full effect of how the Tsunami tabs are with the crisscross effect. And I really love that. All right, so I think my new numbers here worked. So I'm going to save this so I can remember what I did when I want to do it in the future. I think it creates a good contrast in between each of the pages and gives a good depth in between each one. And I really like the way that that turned out. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay inspired, and thank you for watching.